Good Monday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majewski back with you here in the North Georgia Majestic Studios with your Talking Live Forecast update here on your August the 17th, 2026. Well, after a sweltering hot weekend, we continue to roll on with the heat wave with some very hot temperatures across East Tennessee and North Georgia here for the remainder of your Monday. But we're also going to be watching for a weak cold front moving in for this evening, and with it, the threat of showers and storms, and some of those could be severe with some very high gusty winds. So we're going to break it all down for you here in this update. Now, before we get rolling, if you're new here to the Talkin Live Broadcast channel's Facebook page, please give us a follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. But more importantly, make sure you hit that notification bell so you're alerted on all future weather updates just like this. All right, let's get into today, shall we? For the rest of your Monday, looking pretty decent out there. And on Tuesday, we're going to back the temperatures off just a little bit. Shouldn't be quite as oppressively hot out there, as we're going to get a little bit of relief from this front moving on through here for tonight. Looking over toward Helen, Georgia, also looking at a steamy day there as well. And, you know, when you see temperatures popping 90 into the mountains, you know it's a hot and steamy day, to say the least. Now, looking at the local radar, quiet here for the moment, but we are going to get some showers and storms here. They're going to be flaring up into this zone here pretty rapidly as this front moves into some very high-octane heat to definitely set off these showers and storms. They're going to be quite robust, and expect a lot of lightning, especially with some of these storms. So as we look at our regional outlook here, you see the outlook there, that meso discussion there, showing a pretty decent probability that we're going to get some of the storms here, about 60% right now, showing of that watch box going up into that zone. And I suspect we may get some additional watches maybe sneaking into North Georgia here as well. So we'll have to watch closely here as we go for the rest of the afternoon. Seeing the scattered storms back over toward Louisiana and down toward Alabama and Georgia, but up for the moment, quiet. But it's not going to stay that way. It's going to get very active this afternoon. So as we get going, we're going to see those showers and storms, those bright reds and yellows, going to start really flaring up in here, and then they're going to be sinking down to the south. And with that boundary, some very strong gusty winds and a lot of lightning and some brief heavy rains. But the heavier rain threat's going to be predominantly into the Tennessee area, not so much across North Georgia, as the storms likely will be accelerating as they move toward the south. So temperatures, again, very hot here for this afternoon, already up to 96 degrees there in Chattanooga, 95 there in Soddy Daisy, 94 down in Calhoun. So it is plenty hot, to say the least, dealing with these temperatures. And then when you throw in the humidity that we're having to deal with out there, it feels even hotter out there into the triple digits, 104 there, 107 in Charleston. So it just very, very gaudy heat indices. Now, the good news tomorrow is that the humidity and the dew point is going to drop. So I suspect we might get a little bit of a break tomorrow as far as our heat advisories are concerned. So you can see the current lookout there with the heat advisories going until 8 o'clock tonight. There across East Tennessee and a big part of Northwest Georgia. I think tomorrow we get a little bit of a break as the dew point drops off. So we're going to be watching these storms flaring up for tonight. So we're talking about after 4 o'clock, getting games going and going through about midnight here as this kind of moves on through. So the big threat is going to be some strong gusty winds. We're talking winds up to 60 miles per hour. And when you see the red up there, that's a pretty good coverage area. That's a 30% chance of seeing some strong gusty winds along that boundary. So what I would recommend for you guys tonight is to make sure you secure any outdoor property, trash cans, patio furniture, things like that, umbrellas. Make sure they don't get blown into your neighbor's house or your own house for that matter, and you don't have any damage. So please secure that here for tonight as these storms move on through. Again, could get some locally heavy rain in some spots, but I think we could take it. Most of the heavier rains there in the yellow up toward the Knoxville area and Morristown, but generally just going to see some pockets of heavy rain here as this moves on through. So let's look at the last model here. This is the rapid refresh model, which hinted at this, by the way, last Friday. When I did the Friday update, it was showing that, and it's been pretty consistent all weekend long. So again, as we go toward 4 o'clock, watch the storm start to fire. Boom, 5, 6. You see it there at Crossville and heading up there into Williamsburg and up there into Kentucky. And this thing kind of sliding down to the south here by 8 o'clock and then sneaking across the border and coming into Georgia by 10. So again, that is the time frame for this evening as this stuff gets fired up here for this afternoon and as quickly moves to the south. And along that line, that's where those strong gusty winds are going to be, right along that boundary there as that sinks to the south. So again, watch as this moves on through very quickly, because once it does, that's it, folks. The next couple days, got nothing for you. It's going to stay pretty quiet here for the most part. So our heavy rain threats predominantly across East Tennessee, a little bit across North Georgia, but again, I think we can handle it pretty well. And then dry weather moves back in here for the rest of your week ahead. So looking at the weather map, as that frontal boundary moves to the south, what we're going to see in its wake is some drier air. So even though we're still in the 90s here expected for most everybody going into your Tuesday. The dew point's going to be lower, so it's going to feel drier, so not going to be quite as oppressively hot. I think we get a break from the heat advisories, at least for a day before it starts warming back up again. All right, so let's take a look here at the forecast here. So Chattanooga, I'm going 93.75. Your high today going 98, so 5 degrees cooler. We're going to take it. Not going to complain there. Backing off a little bit. Morning lows here mostly in the 70s for the morning, and then you'll notice in the afternoon as we go up toward 4 o'clock, this is a high resolution model. It only goes up to about 91 there in Chattanooga, but we still got some 90s, some 80s up into East Tennessee. But again, that humidity level is going to be lower because look at the dew point. This is the feel like temperature. You notice they don't change. That's the feel like temperature. There's the air temperature. So we'll get a little bit of a break from the heat advisories for tomorrow. All right, let's go look at our regional forecast here. Again, you can see with that cooler pocket air across Kentucky and Tennessee and North Carolina. But we're still sweltering down here in Augusta, 102, 100 in Albany, 103 over here in Greenville. So, yeah, it's hot all around. We're still across the South. We just want this to get out of here and give us a real cold front to bring in some fall weather. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen for the rest of the 7 days. So, as you can see, we're kind of creeping the temperatures back up here. We do have a rain threat coming back on Thursday, but we're still hitting 97. So, that means we got the humidity back. So, that's coming back up. Look at the lows coming back up to 74. So, it shows that air mass getting back humid again. And then we got another front coming back through, and then low 90s, still above normal going into next week, but at least not oppressively hot as what we're dealing with out there right now currently. And again, we're going to see on Thursday. So I do expect on Thursday we'll see the heat advisories for sure back in here across the area. Now, with the threat of thunderstorms moving in forward tonight, why don't you download our free weather app? Absolutely free. If you have an Apple phone or an Android phone, go to the Apple Store, go to Google Play, put in North Georgia Majestic Weather, download this app. Great app. It's going to alert you when rain's approaching your exact location. It's going to give you severe weather alerts, hour-by-hour forecast, Futurecast, get an idea where that radar is going, power outage map. Great weather app. Go and download that absolutely free. Brought to you by our weather app sponsor, Roof It Forward out of Woodstock, Georgia. If you are in Georgia and you're in need of a good quality roof, give these guys a call. We're going to take care of you with some great customer service, quality craftsmanship, and they give a portion of every job back to local children's charity. Together we can roof it forward. They definitely pay it forward there, and we appreciate them being our local weather app sponsor. All right, again, that's y'all's update. Again, watch out for some of those storms for tonight. Some folks possibly can lose their power a little bit forward tonight. So again, just secure your property, wait for this to go on through. The rest of the week looking fairly quiet, although it's still going to be a bit on the hot side. Again, appreciate you guys checking us out. Make sure you give us a follow there on Facebook and over on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you're alerted on all our weather updates. All right, that'll do it for today. Y'all be good, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. Bye-bye.